Hello and welcome to this month's HPL Discovery. Today our theme is coding and computers. And to do that, we've put together a kit for you. First, this is the 1st through 4th grade kit of Dinobot Adventures. I've designed a little coding activity and craft that you can do to program your little Dinobot that will come in the kit to follow your commands. The best part for this learning exercise about coding is that you don't even need a computer. Let's blow that up. To start the experiment with your Dinobot kit, you'll have 3 sheets of paper. 2 of them you're going to want to cut into strips about 1 inch to 1.5 inches wide. And the 3rd sheet is going to be your mat base. So you're going to want to fold that in half like this. And then you're gonna cut from the fold almost to the outside, but not completely to the end of the sheet. You're gonna wanna do that about 1 inch apart as well. So you'll do that down the paper till it gets to the edge of the sheet. When you finish, your mat will have a checkerboard pattern or be part of a binary code that I'll talk about in just a second here. So if you've done the fold and cut right, this is about what it should look like. You see all those slats in the middle? That's what we're going to use to weave our paper in through the mat. So I'll show you, give you a first example of how that works. You can go over, under, alternating like this to push that paper through to form your mat. And you'll repeat that until your mat is full. Here's one that I've nearly completed, and you can see how it has that checkerboard pattern that we will play on using our dinosaur. Now, one thing that's neat about this is you can also write a code into your mat. There's an example on the back of your sheet, if you pick up the kits, of a binary code, and that's a code that uses 1s and 0s, black and white, or any other either or situation to write a code. So for this one, let's write in the letter R. I like R, my name happens to start with it, and that is black, white, black, white, black, black, white, black. So in this case, where we have blues and greens, let's make the green our dark color. So dark, light, dark. We will start with dark, light, dark. So it's the same as the checkerboard pattern there. And then dark, dark, light, dark. So we'll go dark, dark, go over 2 spaces. Light will go under the light green. And dark will go over the other space again. It looks a little bit different, doesn't it? And it's going to make an interesting board. If you want to do this the whole way through, you could code your name or a secret message or anything, something like that. I'll fold this last one under for stability. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold in our last one to complete our mat, and I will show you a little bit about how the gameplay works. Over, under, over, under, over, probably under, over, and under again. Each time you push one, you're going to want to slide it down to sort of tighten it up on your mat. Make everything as stable as possible. There, now that we've got this sort of checkerboard play mat, let's find out how to play. Got buried under there. With our dinosaur friend. Hello, Dinobot. Let's do this. In your packet, there should be a list of commands. And if you don't have that, you can always print or make up your own. Each of these are about a 1-inch square. So you're going to want to either cut them up or use a magical explosion to turn them into pieces. Let's go with that. Well, that's always a kick. Now that we've got our tiny little card pieces, let's take a closer look at our board. Now that we've got our mat set up, let's go ahead and see how to play. The key piece is little Dinobot that's been included. And we're going to put Dinobot in a corner. The goal is to create a programming sequence that allows Dinobot to reach the heart without hitting any obstacles and hopefully in as few movements as possible. This is similar to coding when you're writing a sequence to get a computer to perform a function. Let's look at some of our options. We have our little forward token, just the arrow will cause our dinosaur to move forward. A turn, we have right and left, will cause the dinosaur to either turn left, that's a rotate, or rotate to the right. When I'm doing this, I like to separate out my tokens so they're easy to figure out rotate to the right. There are, as you can see, a couple of obstacles. We've got some flame here. We've got some rocks. You can choose how to interact with those. I like to include this little frog token to mean a jump, allowing the dinosaur either to skip a space and jump over an obstacle like a rock, or just to move forward a little bit more quickly. Frog tokens are fun, but they are more limited. And the idea is to see if you can come up with a command sequence to get the dinosaur to his little goal heart. That's what Dinobot loves and where they would like to be. So if you can try to map it in your head, we'll put some face down tokens and then we'll draw. I'm going to line them up along this edge here. You can do it as a stack if you choose. Starting from the end and working backwards is if you're a more advanced programmer, that's an interesting way to do it. That way when you're drawing off the top, they're performing that move, but you'd have to start from the end and move backwards. Let's just do a very basic from the front. So let's do, I like a forward movement, a forward movement, a forward movement. 1, 2, 3. I think we need one more forward movement. Let's do that to get our dinosaur out of danger. Then let's rotate to the left. I think we're going to need. A left rotate. Then let's do a forward, maybe a jumping frog, and then one more forward to see if our dinosaur reaches the destination. So let's go ahead and run that command sequence in our Dinobot. Forward. 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 Left turn. Forward. Frog. Forward. Success! That routine allowed our dinosaur to reach the heart. That is a successful programming attempt. There are many ways to mix this up. I've included obstacles like water. There's more hearts if you want to do have them hit multiple goals, as well as different ways of laying out the programming. For young ages, you can just try to set up a program that works while looking at them. And for the harder ones, I recommend building a stack and then drawing from the stack top down to see if you can get the dinosaur to their goal. I've also left some blank cards in the commands page to let you draw your own obstacles, goals, allies, or what have you. As far as the volcano, I don't know what that one does, so maybe we'll just move our dinosaur there as an experiment to find out. Of course. Another thing I've included in your kits is an exercise with an algorithm. An algorithm is a sequence of instructions given to a computer or a robot or a web page or whatever it is you're trying to program to perform a problem or reach a particular conclusion. In this case, we're going to use a bubble sort algorithm to sort some things that I have conveniently made a big mess of. So this is a sorting algorithm, and it works a little bit like this. You can try this with anything, but for your convenience, I've made a mess of my markers and paintbrushes. So the algorithm goes like this. It'll pick up two things and sort them according to the parameters that I've given it. In this case, it's going to make a brush on the left, my left, and a marker on the right. If nothing is wrong, in this case is correct. Marker on the left, no. Marker on the right, brush on the left, no change. So we pick up the next two things and see if they are right. Is the paintbrush on the left? No, it is not. So we switch them and set them down. And the same thing continues. Brush on the left? It is. Stay the same. Brush on the left? Yes. Brush on the left? No, these are both markers. Markers go on the right. Brush on the left? It is. No change. Brush on the left? No. Switch. And it's called a bubble sort because your correct sorting will sort of bubble up to the top. Eventually, these brushes will all bubble their way to the left. Brush, brush, put them down. Oop, this one's not a brush, this is a glue stick. Brush on the left, no glue stick. Our algorithm didn't account for that. It ran into a bug. It may ruin our algorithm if this is not a program, but luckily we humans are thinking machines. Going back to the algorithm. Brush on the left, yes, keep. Brush on the left, no, switch. So, I'm gonna bring these back so you can take a look. You may notice that almost all of the brushes ended up on the left, but not quite all of them. We've still got two on the right here with the markers from those situations when I had both a brush and a brush. What we're gonna do is take another pass. And this is where you would lift up the two things, brush, brush. All right, we'll start where the error is on the left here and do two things at once. Brush on the left, yes. Two markers, no. Brush on the left, switch, and so on and so forth. Keep those the same. You can try this with books, with people by short and tall, by letters of last names. It's kind of fun to see how things will bubble to the top. The only trouble with it is it's not terribly efficient. You might have to do a couple of passes before you've moved the A books all the way to the A side and the Z books all the way to the Z side, because you're only looking at two objects at one time and putting them in the right place. Eventually, after enough passes, it'll work, but there are probably more efficient ways to sort them. Can you think of some? Well, I hope you enjoyed today's HPL discovery. We'll have these kits ready and see you next time with more fun learning exercises that you can do in your home. And remember to clean up your workspace. See you next time.